Welcome back to Breslov campus. A little about this amazing insight and advice of clapping hands. Clapping hands, especially during davening, during prayers. Rabbi Nachman explains that if you look at a hand, there are 14 sections in the fingers. If you count the sections of the fingers, there's 14 in total. That's why it's called yad in Hebrew, or the word for Hebrew for a hand is yad, which is a yud dalit. Yud is 10, dalit is 4, that's 14. And you have another hand, with the left hand, that's also another 14. When joined together, they make 28. The word in Hebrew for 28 is koach, strength. And this koach, Rabbi Nachman says, refers to the opening act of creation mentioned in the beginning of the Torah, of the Chumash, where Rashi explains why this whole story of telling us Bereshit, the story of the creation, the story of Adam and Eve, the story of Cain and Hevel, and then Noach and Avraham and Yitzhak and Yaakov and Moshe, and Yosef, and the exile in Egypt and the Exodus. Just tell us the laws. That's what Torah is. Torah means hora'ah, to give instruction. So why this introduction? So Rashi brings down Koach ma'asav higid la'amo. The strength of Hashem's actions did he tell over his nation. By telling us over in the Torah that Hashem created the world, that means he's the boss. And therefore, there's no attack on the Jewish people when people say this land is not your land, this land is Palestine, this land belongs to the 7 nations, because that's what happened, that if the nations will say, you Jewish people are thieves, you're robbers, this is not your land. So we say the land is not yours either, because you also stole it from the Kaftorim who were living in Israel before you. So who does the land belong to? It's only God's. And he doesn't give it over to anybody. He just gives over as like a partial usage to anybody, any part of the land. And when he chooses, he can take it away from that nation and give it to wherever he pleases. So we introduce that it's the strength of Hashem's hands. So the word again is koach, strength, corresponding to the 14 fingers of each hand times 2, that's 28. So Rabbi Nachman teaches, whenever a Jew davens, wants to daven, and wants Hashem to listen to his prayers, so you need a bit of a boost a lot of times when you're confronted by all types of confusions and thoughts that are bothering you during the time of davening. I need a boost to activate the strength of Hashem in life. So Rabbi Nachman has an amazing advice that whenever you want to transform yourself while davening, to be on a better grounding, to be connected to God's strength, so he says, Rabbi Nachman, clap your hands. Clap your hands while davening, and this can transport you to a level of holiness equivalent to the holiness of the Holy Land, which is the proof that God owns the world, that he gave this land to us, took it away from the nations of Canaan, the 7 nations of Canaan who were living in Israel before the Jews came and conquered it in the time of Joshua. So that activation by clapping the hands also transforms our quality of davening, that it's davening with strength to affect and make changes in life. For this reason, Rabbi Nachman stresses very much the power and importance of clapping one's hands while davening.